Does it feel like every time you eat something, your stomach expands? Even if you eat healthy foods like salads or even a piece of fruit, you're always bloated. No matter what it is, you might actually look like you're 4 months pregnant. That was me. And this actually discourages you from wanting to eat altogether. Well, I'm gonna tell you why this might be happening. Today, we're talking about the top 7 Ayurvedic reasons why you're always bloated. Let's go. Bloating is a common digestive issue that is caused by weak or low Agni. Agni is your ability to digest food and life. Another way to think of Agni is your metabolism. Bloating actually happens when your gastrointestinal tract is not able to split the food that you eat into tiny enough particles to be absorbed properly. It's usually accompanied with gas, and together, they disrupt the proper functioning of your stomach and your intestines. Weak Agni, which is the cause of bloating, is created by poor eating habits that in turn causes a vata imbalance within your body and in your mind. Think about it. When you're bloated, which element do you feel is contributing to your abdominal distension? Is it earth, water, fire, or air and space? It's air and space. And this air and space becomes wind when it gets all mixed up. That's why you get relief from bloating by passing gas or by burping. So let's talk about some top reasons why bloating occurs according to Ayurveda. Reason number 1, poor eating habits. One of the most common causes of bloating is poor eating habits. This includes eating while distracted, such as while you're watching TV or working on your computer, or not taking the time to sit down and enjoy your meal. Eating while you're in a rush or on the go causes bloating because you're more likely to be distracted and less mindful while you're actually chewing. This usually reduces the amount of chewing you do before you swallow, which gives your digestion more work and a higher potential for not assimilating your food's nutrients. Also, when you eat while you're distracted, you're less likely to be in a relaxed and comfortable environment. This ends up causing your body to release stress hormones that disrupt the digestion process and lead to bloating eventually. You're also less likely to be able to pay attention to your body's hunger and fullness signals, which leads to overeating and eating too quickly. Eventually, this causes your stomach to stretch and lead to bloating and discomfort. Another poor eating habit that you might have that you actually might not think of as a poor eating habit, but it is eating too many raw foods. Raw foods are high in fiber, which can be really difficult for your digestive system to break down. This leads to fermentation in your gut if your stomach acids aren't strong enough to break down those fibers, which in turn causes bloating and gas. Additionally, minerals and vitamins in some fruits and vegetables are actually less bioavailable when you eat them raw. For example, the beneficial carotenoids from carrots and the lycopene from tomatoes are significantly higher when you actually cook them. Lightly steaming and sauteing and even simmering foods at a low temperature makes foods easier to digest. Also, raw foods are often cold in nature. This cold characteristic slows down the digestive fire and leads to stagnation in the gut over time. The reason why some people may feel more energized and lighter on a raw food diet is because in some cases they're switching from a diet with a lot of cooked, heavily processed foods and few vegetables and fruits. Once you remove these type of foods and eat only plants, you will naturally feel better for a period of time. For those people who were eating healthy before going raw, in most cases they had other underlying health issues, or they had poor eating habits that caused that increased energy once they switched to raw. On the contrary, some people suffer adverse effects from eating primarily raw or uncooked foods, including gas, bloating, constipation, insomnia, dry skin, decreased vitality, feeling cold, and even low libido. But when these people actually shift to a more balanced Ayurvedic diet, their symptoms disappear. Reason number 2, eating while stressed. Another common cause of bloating is eating while you're stressed. This includes eating while you're upset, worried, or right after an argument. Eating while stressed affects your nervous system in several ways. When your body is under stress, it releases hormones such as cortisol and adrenaline. This causes the muscles in your digestive tract to tense up and slow down the process of food moving through the gut. Stress also causes the production of stomach acid to decrease, which leads to indigestion and heartburn. It causes inflammation in your gut, which leads to bloating, gas, and other digestive issues. And it disrupts the balance of good and bad bacteria in your gut, which can eventually lead to an overgrowth of bad bacteria, and it may cause bloating, gas, and other digestive issues. But the big one is stress. Stress affects your nervous system by triggering the fight or flight response. When your body is in flight mode, that means you're expecting some level of danger to occur in the near future. So this causes you to be tense, hyper-aware, or anxious, sometimes unconsciously. This state shifts the blood flow away from your digestive system and towards your limbs, causing a decrease in digestive enzymes and acid production in your stomach, making it harder for your body to break down food properly. With all that being said, you can see now why Ayurveda stresses the importance of not eating while you're feeling stressed or emotional. If you're dealing with an issue that has you in a heightened state of awareness, or you're also really hungry, take a few minutes to relax and to calm your mind by breathing and meditating for 1 to 3 minutes before eating. Alright, so if you're finding this video helpful so far, drop a like down below and subscribe to the channel so you know exactly when we drop the follow-up video to this one. Reason number 3, eating convenient foods. Eating convenient or processed foods causes bloating because these foods aren't fresh and they lack nutrients. These food-like foods are often processed and contain added preservatives, artificial flavors, and even chemicals that are hard for your body to recognize, much less to digest. In most cases, they're high in sugar, sodium, and saturated fats, which leads to inflammation in the gut and causes bloating, gas, and other digestive issues. Convenient foods like granola bars, cereal, store-bought pasta, and even frozen dinners are all low in fiber, which is important for maintaining healthy digestion. Fiber helps to move food through your gut, preventing constipation and bloating. Without enough fiber, your food might sit in your gut for longer periods of time, causing bloating and discomfort. Convenient foods are also sometimes high in sugar, which disrupts the balance of good and bad bacteria in your gut. This might lead to an overgrowth of bad bacteria or candida and other digestive issues. The big one, though, is that these foods are old. They were cooked, processed, or manufactured days, weeks, or sometimes months before you actually consume them. Because they're old, over time, they decrease your digestive fire and make you more prone to digestive discomfort because of the lack of prana in them. In Ayurveda, it's important to eat fresh, whole foods that are cooked from scratch. Eating leftovers or meal plans quite often leads to a buildup of ama or metabolic toxins, which eventually will cause bloating. Reason number 4, eating at the wrong times. Eating at the wrong times also leads to bloating. This is because you're not following the natural cycles of the earth. Your body has its own internal clock, and this is known as the circadian rhythm. This regulates the timing of various bodily functions, including digestion. Eating at the wrong times disrupts this rhythm and causes your body to produce less digestive enzymes and stomach acids. This makes it harder for your body to break down food properly and thus causes bloating and gas. Also, eating at the wrong times causes food to sit in your stomach for longer periods of time, and this leads to fermentation and then the production of gas. It also disrupts the balance of good and bad bacteria in your gut, which eventually can lead to an overgrowth of bad bacteria or candida. Ayurveda says that eating at the wrong times leads to an imbalance in pitta dosha, which causes hot or sharp digestion, meaning indigestion. To maintain a healthy digestion process, Ayurveda recommends eating at the same times every day, or as close to it as possible, and avoiding eating late at night. It's also best to eat breakfast within an hour of waking up and eat your main meal at lunchtime when your digestion is at its strongest. Then have your last meal at least 3 or more hours before bedtime. In Ayurveda, eating late at night or skipping meals disrupts the digestion process and eventually leads to bloating. Reason number 5, not eating breakfast. Skipping breakfast can also lead to bloating. See, what happens is when you don't eat breakfast, you disrupt your body's ability to digest food well by not training your body to eat at a prime time of the day when you need the energy and brain power the most. See, when we sleep at night, our body goes through a period of fasting, and during that time, your digestive system slows down. When you wake up in the morning and you eat breakfast, you're breaking your fast essentially and kickstarting the digestive process for the day. Skipping breakfast causes the digestive system to remain inactive for too long, leading to bloating in some cases or just stomach discomfort. Not eating breakfast also causes your body to produce less digestive enzymes and stomach acids. This makes it harder for your body to break down food properly, which eventually causes bloating, gas, and other digestive issues. If you don't feel hungry when you wake up, Do some belly breathing exercises, meditation, and yoga. This gets your abdominal organs working and directs oxygen and blood flow towards that area of your body. After that, make a small breakfast, whether it's stewed fruit, congee, or simple porridge, and have a ginger appetizer to help bring on the hunger. Don't eat your breakfast until you truly feel hungry. It may take some time, but eventually you'll begin to naturally feel hungry in the morning. Reason number 6, incompatible food combinations. Another cause of bloating is consuming incompatible food combinations. One example of incompatible foods are fruit and milk consumed together. This often happens for breakfast in school cafeterias when kids are fed eggs, breakfast sausages, and bagels with milk and fruit. Another time where this often happens is when adults add fruit to their salads. Fruit is digested quickly in the stomach, while milk is digested slowly in the small intestine. Fruit is also digested much quicker in general than vegetables. When these foods are mixed together, it creates an imbalance of the digestive process, leading to fermentation and the production of gas in your gut. This inevitably can cause bloating and discomfort. From an Ayurvedic perspective, fresh fruit is considered very light and easy to digest in comparison to other foods. So when they're eaten with or after heavier foods, they stay in your stomach for as long as the heaviest food takes to digest, and as a result, it stays in the stomach for too long and gets overcooked by your digestive juices and begins to ferment. Ayurveda suggests that fruit should be eaten alone or at least 30 to 60 minutes before a meal. Avoid eating fruits after meals. Also, it's important to avoid eating fruits with heavy and hard to digest foods such as meats, dairy, and grains. Reason number 7, drinking cold water. Drinking cold water can cause bloating as well. In Ayurveda, it's said that drinking cold water slows down the digestion process and causes your stomach to contract, leading to bloating. Why is that? Well, it goes back to your metabolism. Agni governs your metabolism. Now, imagine that your metabolism is a burning fire. It allows you to digest, process, and use all that you take in through your 5 senses, including the food that you eat. So now, healthy Agni allows you to efficiently eliminate the unusable byproducts of these energetic and physical inputs so that toxic waste doesn't linger in your body and in your mind. But now imagine throwing a pail of water onto a large burning campfire. What do you think is gonna happen? The same thing that happens when you drink cold room temperature water or any liquid that contains ice. The fire goes right out. And whatever you throw onto the logs after that will simply just sit there. It will not be broken down, or over time, it will simply rot and putrefy. This is exactly what happens in your body when you drink cold liquids. The result of this is a cold and damp Agni, as well as the production of ama, or metabolic toxins. For this reason, it's important to drink only warm water. You can drink room temperature water in very rare cases, such as in very hot climates or when dealing with a pitta imbalance. This improves digestion and alleviates bloating when you only drink warm water. For the full written blog with all accompanying links, check the description box down below. And remember, at the end of the day, this is general information, but Ayurveda believes in personalization. So if you're struggling with gas and bloating and you're ready for a personalized approach and treatment plan, reach out to me to book a one-on-one call to discuss the right approach to healing your body type and your current imbalances. See you next time.